Apparently, Sean Strickland's advice to young fighters wanting to get into the UFC is don't do it. Don't even try it. Don't even attempt it. It's kind of like any profession where you need some kind of talent to get ahead, like acting, writing, directing, fighting. He says don't do it. So, the title, Sean Strickland's advice to fighters trying to make to the UFC, don't do it. It's difficult. How many millions of people are trying to be actors? How many millions of people are trying to be writers, directors, fighters? Like, what percentage is going to get into the UFC or are going to make a living from it? Apparently, less than 1% of actors actually make money, make a living from acting. So if you think about it, it may be the same for mixed martial arts. Same thing with gaming. It's such a small amount of people that are actually making a living from this kind of thing. Sean Strickland says violence is in his soul, expects a war versus Uriah Hall. This is an article from a few days before he fought Uriah Hall. Obviously, he beat him. He got a victory there, but article goes on to say there is a side of Sean Strickland that he knows is there, but prefers to keep locked away and hidden. So, like my previous video about Sean Strickland, I was thinking he was putting on an act maybe, but it sounds like from this article that he actually is a little bit crazy. He says he prefers to keep locked away and hidden. He shudders to imagine what might happen to him if that side of himself appeared more often during his everyday life. So it sounds like he's like suppressing his real identity, his real personality, because it's just too much. He thinks it'll be too much for people to handle. So there's something really going on upstairs that may not be very good. And it says, it's that lust for blood, the love of the fight that drives Strickland. Despite the hardships he's faced as he's pursued a mixed martial arts career, when he turned pro at 18, he used to bicycle 20 miles one way to the gym to train because he couldn't afford any other way. There is nothing else he would prefer to do. And that's what they say about these other professions, like, how far are you willing to go, to be an actor? How is there, if there's any other thing that you could see yourself doing, then do it. That's what they say about these types of professions, because the chance you're going to make it is very slim, and the chances of you struggling to survive, struggling to pay your bills is very high. So the article goes on to say, fighting isn't an easy profession. Many think the pressure builds the closer one gets to fighting for a title, but as the great golfer Lee Trevino once said, pressure is playing for $5 a hole with only $2 in your pocket. The real pressure in fighting comes in trying to break through, to make a living off it, and pay all the bills, and perhaps sock away a few bucks for the future. Most fighters never make it, said Strickland, and Strickland, who fights Uriah Hall on Saturday at Apex in a 5-round middleweight bout in the main event of UFC Vegas 33, advises those who talk to him about it to reconsider dreams of fighting. He says, you know what the hard thing is, man? Strickland asked rhetorically. It's being broke. People think that you're in the UFC and you make a lot of money, but you really don't. If you look at what they're signing guys on for, I'll tell guys, maybe they're 28 years old, maybe 29, and they want to be a UFC fighter. I say, listen, man, I'm going to be straight with you. Chances are you're going to fight for a couple years and you're going to end up broke. You'd be better off being an electrician at this rate. One of the hardest things with my performances early on was I was just broke. I'd have these thoughts. Do I want to go out there and fight and put on a great show? Well, if I lose, that's half my check. That's another $10,000, $15,000 out of my pocket. I'd ask if I'd just be better off going out and sticking and moving and getting my win bonus. My life has improved a lot since then, and now if I lose a fight, I'm not going to miss a car payment. So basically he was saying, like, he was wondering if he should go out there and put on a show and take more risks. That way he can get more attention, or should he just go out there and get the win? And apparently it looks like he decided to just go out there and get the win and use his skills, and as opposed to just putting on a show, because a win is going to propel your career forward. Whereas, yes, if you win in spectacular fashion, you are going to move ahead, but you always have a higher chance of losing if you go out there toe-to-toe and just put it all on the line. So he thinks it's better apparently, but the article continues, but trying to get established is difficult. The money is not good for those starting out, and it takes both talent and luck to make it. And he says fighting is the most brutal way to make money. I tell everyone who asks me about it, don't do it. So there he is, Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland reacts after his TKO victory over Brandon Allen in a 195-pound catchweight fight during the UFC Fight Night event at UFC Apex November 14, 2020. So Strickland, who is ranked number 11 at middleweight, has a duality about him. I think he's probably higher now. However, so he has a duality about him. That's like psychological terms for maybe dual personality. As much as he talks about his difficult young life as a professional fighter, he's recently said that if pro fighting didn't exist, he'd pay to go to a gym to fight. Yet that side of him that he prefers to keep behind closed doors keeps pushing to get out. He has a lust for the fights that knows no bounds. So maybe he does want to kill somebody in the ring. I don't know. This makes him sound pretty crazy. He has some, skeletons in there that he's keeping from the world. He's keeping suppressed. And let's see if they ever come out. Hopefully they don't, because he sounds like there's some demons in there. So he said, like violence, it's in my soul, Strickland said. I don't want to sound too cryptic, but if it wasn't for MMA, I'd probably be in prison. There's some urge in me. There's some voice in me that finds so much enjoyment in hurting people. I need it. If not, I'd probably be doing drugs. So this guy has some demons, some crazy demons in him. He seriously, gets off on hurting people, which is really crazy if you think about it. That means he lacks empathy. He doesn't feel bad for people. If it feels good to hurt people, then you don't feel bad if someone's hurt, obviously. And that sounds like that's the case with him. He says, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke or drink, but if it wasn't for MMA, I'd really have to medicate myself to function. The problem is, I'm so violent, if I started drinking, it might just come out more often. So he's a violent drunk, apparently, but he doesn't drink. Strickland would love for that side of himself to emerge in the cage while he's fighting the 8th ranked Hall. Strickland is a healthy negative 225 favorite at BetMGM to defeat Hall, who is plus 180. It's a fight he believes he should win, but it's a fight fraught with risk. I'm better than Uriah Hall, says Strickland, who said he feels the bout is the biggest of his career. I'm better than him. I'm a better grappler and I'm a better striker. But he is fast, he is long, and he is dangerous. So you take that combination and you're only one mess up away from going to sleep. So he feels like he can't really make a mistake. Am I the favorite? Yeah, I'm a better fighter than he is. But we have to take into account the 4-ounce gloves, the speed, the reach. It's a war. He's a very scary man. True. But in Strickland's own words, he can be quite scary himself. There you have it. He's got some demons within him. He wants to hurt people. He likes to hurt people. If he didn't get the outlet of professional fighting, who knows what he would be doing? Torturing animals or going on a killing spree or who knows what. But apparently this guy seems like he needs some kind of help, some kind of psychological help. Apparently there's some kind of demons. I'm not sure what it stems from. If he grew up in poverty, and who knows what happened. But there you go. He tells young fighters just not to do it. But if this is an outlet for him, it's got to be a good outlet for other people who are extremely violent. You need some kind of outlet, especially if you got some kind of demon inside of you and you want to hurt people. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening. Let me know what you think. You guys think the same, that people should not go into fighting, that it's like a million to one chance. It's like hitting the lottery. It's like acting, directing, producing, art, painting, all these artistic endeavors. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.